Now, I don't mean to start a fight, but if you're still eating soup like this, you may want to try something homemade. Now, we're going to be serving up our 3 favorite fall soups, and the flavor will blow you away. And first out of the gate, a fall favorite, picked right from the harvest, butternut squash soup. What you call a pot full of veggies it is. I mean, the harvest has been aplenty. Now, first of all, started off with a stick of butter, chunked her in there, some olive oil, let that all get melted really good together. We chopped up some carrot, we chopped up a yellow onion, we chopped up some bell pepper, skinned the rind off that butternut squash. Be sure you get all them seeds out, scrape them out of there, then chunk them up, put them over here. This is gonna take a bit, you're gonna have to stir it, but hey, get a lid, cover it up, it'll go steaming a little bit faster. We're going to continue to cook and stir these as we go along until they get really good and tender. Well, we've been on about probably 25 minutes. Now, this is going to take you longer than you might think. But I will give you a tip. If you'll cut them up in smaller pieces, they'll get done faster. But make sure you got them in something that you can cover it with a lid, because that steaming action is really what happens here. So time to add some chicken broth. Whew, there's a lot of flavor coming out of there. We're just gonna add a whole box. We're gonna let that cook covered for about 15 more minutes. And then we'll move on to modern electricity. I know what you're thinking right off the bat. Cookie did not have a blender run to somewhere with an extension cord. But I really don't think Cookie was making butternut squash soup. But if he'd have got the opportunity, he would have loved to. Now things have got tender, and seeing as how this pot is pretty heavy, we're just gonna dip down in here first and go to putting some of it in there, because I'm thinking we're gonna have more than we can blend at one time. So we may half this. I'd say that was about half. So we're going to use half the ingredients that we got here. A little brown sugar, some heavy cream, some nutmeg, which can be overpowering, so please don't go too much. We want about a good teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half. Cinnamon. Last but not least, a little dab of curry. Now, I need y'all to leave me a comment, because this is probably one of my most unfavorite spices.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit goes a long way with this stuff, so be sparingly. I'm thinking that's a plenty right there. So, we're gonna blend this first batch, if I remember how. Power, blend. Squash is one of the oldest foods grown on this land. Long before the chuck wagon rolled across the prairie, Native American tribes were planting what they called the Three Sisters: corn, beans, and squash, a trio that worked together in the soil and in the stew pot. But butternut squash is actually a fairly new crop. Back in the 1940s, a gentleman named Charles Leggett from Stow, Massachusetts, was messing around in his garden crossbreeding pumpkins and gooseneck squash. He wanted something smaller, easier to handle, but still packed with that deep, sweet flavor. He called it butternut, because of its buttery texture and nutty taste. By the 60s, it was showing up on tables all across America, and it's become a fall favorite ever since. Well, all blended together, all back in here, forgot to mention, one pot meal. That's what I'm liking about it. But we're gonna give it a little taste. I had a spoon somewhere just to see, do we need to season just a little? And I'm sure we do. Sort of reminds me of Thanksgiving, but we could have just a little bit of our original low sodium on there. Ain't gonna take much. Now, if you don't like this consistency, you can use a little chicken broth or a little cream to make it as thick or as thin as you would like. Me, I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm thinking I'm liking that right there. We're just gonna let that simmer for about 15 minutes and it's ready to serve. That right there is fall in a bowl. I didn't know if I was really going to like this because we hadn't made it in a long time, but I'll have another bite. So if you want to kick this soup up another notch, add you some roasted pumpkin seeds on there, or just a little drizzle of sour cream, or maybe some bacon that you've crisped up, just chopped, lay in there, or what? Some seasoned croutons. It's all going to be good. Or mix and match, put them all in there. Next up, hominy and green chili soup. Well, done browned me up some bacon till it's about half done, then added me some diced onion in there, I did. And I'm fixing to add some hominy in there. And I hear some of you saying, I don't like hominy, Cowboy, I'm not gonna eat it. We have converted so many people over to hominy because we have a hominy and green chili casserole, and it's on a video that you can see. But this is a recipe that Shan come up with to take to a church social, and ooh, it is so good. So yellow hominy, don't drain it, chunk her in there. And I would say things are hot. I can just feel a sizzle. Next, some chicken broth. We're gonna let that simmer, let everything get to going, get all them flavors, get that hominy good and tender, and then we'll continue on. Been simmering right along for about 10 minutes we have, so green chilies, gotta have them. Give that a little stir. And sour cream. We're going to put 2 dollops in there to start with. Okay, look here, cheese. Cheese we're going to bring out some more flavor too, but also it's going to be a little thickening agent. It is. So in it goes. Let this just simmer along for about 5 more minutes till everything gets incorporated well. It's going to be time to eat it. Hominy goes way back, long before cowboy days. Natives across the Americas would soak dried corn in a mix of wood ash and water. That little trick loosened the hull, made the corn softer, and unlocked nutrients like niacin that plain corn couldn't give you. It's how they made masa for tortillas and tamales. How hominy came to be the backbone of stews like pozole down in the Southwest. Some tribes say that when the people were hungry, the Creator sent them a spirit to teach them how to treat the corn, not just to grow it, but to soak it with ash and lime, unlocking its power. That became hominy. And they said it carried strength in every kernel. It was used in feast, in fast, and in healing. By the time settlers and trail cooks came along, they'd already been enjoying it for thousands of years. This says fall, but more than that, it says Southwest flavor. I mean, the hominy, the green chilies, the sour cream sort of peaks it all out there, but you give me a flour tortilla, I'm gonna stay here till I get done. So you could top this with a slice of avocado and a little lime juice, or you could use some little red pepper flakes and sprinkle on there, or you could use tortilla chips. Does your soup taste a little flat? Add acid instead of salt. Vinegar, lime, lemon, or even a spoonful of pickle juice will help flavor the pot. Does your soup seem a little thin? Don't automatically grab the flour. Add some mashed potatoes or potato flakes to your soup. You can also add a little cornstarch and cold water together and add it to the soup while cooking to thicken. When freezing soups, don't store them in a round container. Freeze them in a plastic zip bag laying flat. It will save you room in the freezer and it thaws faster than a block of ice. And the grand finale, lasagna soup. Well, had me some 80-20 ground chuck over here. Let it get about halfway done. Added a yellow onion in there, diced up. Let it all get really good and tender and the meat browned well. And about the last minute, 4 minced garlic cloves. Now to that, I know typical lasagna may not have green chilies in it, but we're in New Mexico. I mean, you got to. So green chilies.
It got windy.
Yes, it did. And a whole box of beef broth. Now we're going to cheat and make this even simpler for y'all. We're just using canned marinara sauce. And I think we're going to use about 2 cups, which is just what we had left in there, Shan. Good job. Some Italian seasoning, and I'd say about that much right there. Let's get that all stirred up really well. We're going to bring it back over here at the fire. We're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes. We are nearly done with our fall favorite soups. And what do we got here? We can't have lasagna soup without lasagna noodles. Now, they ain't going to fit in there like that, Shan. So we're just going to break them, I'd say in pieces, sort of like so. Maybe one at a time will break better. So we're using a whole box of lasagna noodles, and there's 12 of them in a box there is. Get them all in there. Gonna get them back over the fire over here. Let them get all tender. We are nearly there. We're gonna slide this back over the fire, but I've got an advantage on y'all that you're cooking in the house that y'all don't have. Bertha loves cardboard on occasion, she does. Well, see y'all in about 10 minutes. Lasagna might not be the first dish you think of out on the trail, but its roots run old, real old. It traces back to ancient Rome, where they used flat noodles and layered them with sauces made from ground meat and herbs. Modern day lasagna came over with the Italian immigrants in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Out west, that spirit stuck. Chuckwagon cooks might not have layered pasta, but they knew a thing or two about stretching meat and tomatoes to feed a crew. One pot over the fire with a spoon instead of a knife. Well, I mixed me up some ricotta and some Parmesan and blended it well together. Threw me a dollop on there, I did, and then chopped me a little parsley and sprinkled right on top. I've been having a hankering for this ever since we put it on, so I'm gonna see, can I get a little some all of it? A little bit of that there, little meat. This may be my favorite of the day. It tastes like we just went to an Italian restaurant and had a big old plate full of lasagna. It is so good and tasty. Well, there you have it. 3 of our fall favorites. And I don't want to catch you at the grocery store buying canned soup. We've got you fixed up with lasagna soup, butternut squash, hominy and green chili soup. So we got one for every occasion. You can have them morning, noon, and night. But me, I'm going to have one more bite. I am. And I'm going to go with my favorite of the day. Dynamite. But I remember some time back, we told you if you was having hard times, going through some troubles, let us know. Send us a prayer request. Folks, y'all have covered me up, you have, but we like them, every one of them we do, and we're praying for you. But be sure, folks, when you comment and you see somebody needing some prayer, reach out. Take that hat off. Gather around the table and bless those people that need it, because they're asking for our help, and it is our duty. It is. And remember, ain't none of this we're going through no step for a stepper, I promise you. But it is with great pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat to all the servicemen and women and all the veterans that have kept that old flag a flying over camp. Rest of you, get on up in here. I'm going to give you a great big hug first. God bless you, each and every one, and I'm going to see you down the Fall Festival Soup Trail.